Hey everyone, welcome back. This week we're looking at bin 2 again. As a reminder, this one doesn't have quite as many worms as bin 1. So we don't feed it quite as much because you gotta match the food to the number of worms you get. Let's start by pulling this off. Now we see a good amount of worm castings up at the top, still a good amount of bedding. Let's start by going through the old castings. We're going to harvest a few today. So these are nice and dry because they didn't have the cover over it. And there's no worms in it, which is perfect because I want my worms to stay in my worm bin. And I want to be able to take the castings out. So I'm going to pull, I don't know, a few double handfuls out. There we go. Oh, almost pulled out a worm. So there will be some worms in here, which is fine. I mean, you'll lose a worm here and there to various things. You don't have to keep every last one of them. Some kind of cranberry. Okay. Yeah, this side is a little bit, as I go deeper in the finished side, it is a little bit more moist and you do see a few more worms. So it can be best to pull off the driest stuff first because the worms don't like it when it's too dry. So they will hang out in the finished castings, but if it's very dry, they won't hang out in there. So right now I'm just going down to the bottom, fluffing it all up. Because they can go back and reprocess finished castings, which they will do. There's not a good amount of food left in here, but they just won't breed as much. Your population won't necessarily all die off, but you will have a more stable population, or it might even go down a bit as they age and die. Alright, this is the stuff we fed them a little over a month ago, and there's still some bedding mixed in here. I do mix it up pretty good when I go through this. There's more worms in here. But there's no food or big chunks. There's just a banana stem. This takes longer than the rest of the banana to break down, so. These, I don't think I put these in here, which is very weird to me. Okay. I just probably don't remember it. But it is weird that something like a grape is still in there and solid and hasn't been broken down, so I just popped them. Alright, these look pretty good. No big thing, so I'm gonna stack them up. Stack them high with the finished castings so they'll be ready to dry out and pull out with next time. And then this is the stuff I fed about 4 weeks ago. So you can see they're working on this mango pit. I'm gonna throw that over to the side. Here's another mango pit. Here's some skin of a squash. But aside from these mango pits, oh, and here's a carrot. They take a little bit longer to get through those. Another pit. Could probably just pull those mango pits out. There's this banana peel and only the very outer skin's left. They ate the flesh out of the inside of it. But this looks very good. I mean, just a few little bits left and they mostly have worms on them going after them. Love to see it. It means they're not being overfed. They're getting through their food, which is one of the main things we're really checking on. I think this banana peel was maybe too close to the surface. It feels kind of dry, so it didn't get eaten. I'm going to break up any bits of coffee grounds where I see them. They have a hard time going through the espresso pucks. Alright. Starting to hit a lot more worms. Okay, now I'm going to go through where I fed them last week. We're going to take a look here. Whoa. So last week, as I recall, I didn't feed them too much because they still had some food left over from 4 weeks ago. When I say last week, I meant 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I didn't feed them too much because they had stuff left over from 4 weeks ago. And I think they were also a little wet last time, so I put in a lot of extra bedding to sort of soak up some of that moisture. I may have overdone it a little bit because it's actually feeling a little dry now that I'm going through it. So I'm seeing very little food, and I'm seeing a lot of bedding, and it's feeling a little dry. So this time I'm not going to add too much bedding when I feed them, and that way the moisture and the food that I feed them will get this wet again, and hopefully they'll have enough food this time. There are still some banana peels that haven't been completely finished off, so they might have just been, like I said, too dry of a section. That's why they didn't get got, but okay. All right, let's start. Normally I start with bedding. This time I'm gonna just go straight in with the espresso pucks. I gotta break all these up. Coffee grounds. And then yeah, there's a lot of bedding still in here. I'm get it all mixed in. Now that I got the bedding and the espresso pucks in here, I'm gonna do my leftover kitchen scraps. So this is a lot of lettuce and greens and cucumber. So this is all fairly easy stuff for them to get at. So I'm hoping all of this will be gone when I see them again in 2 weeks. So this stuff's still very, very bedding heavy. So they'll be fine with bedding. And then lastly, I'm actually going to add a little bit of water here because it was still just so dry. I'm worried about my worms, so I'm going to just like, I don't know, not even 2 cups, like 1.5 cups of water. Just enough to moisten down some of all that cardboard that had stayed so dry. Okay. I'm still not seeing nearly as many worms in here as in the other one, which is fine. When I split the bins, I must have put much less in here. I think the other one also gets a little bit more morning sun, which helps them get active a little bit more early in the day, so they're doing a little bit more stuff. But this bin still smells very good, seems very healthy, and we'll check in. We will check in again in 2 more weeks.